All right, Rocky, are you ready for today's video? I had ChatGPT make the intro. You ready? All right. Today we're diving deep into something a little eerie. 3 mass disappearances that have left behind more questions than answers. From the entire village's vanishing into thin air to crew disappearing from the ships without a trace. These stories have haunted investigators for decades. Well, I've been obsessed with these stories for years. Rocky here, he's hearing them for the first time. So today, we're going to learn together on the 3 mass disappearances that have still yet to be solved. Rocky, are you excited? I bet you are, buddy. Hello and welcome back to the channel where I teach Rocky about all the weird and hot drama going on in the world. Today, we're going to be diving into some eerie mass disappearances. Yeah, because that's hot drama, ain't it, Rocco? Why you're sitting comfortable as shit, my guy. Rocky, I have gathered 3 mass disappearances that I would like to teach Rocky about, starting with the Flannon Isles Lighthouse disappearance. Rocky, what do you know about the Flannon Isles Lighthouse disappearances? You're right. Nothing. The Flannon Isles, also called the Seven Hunters, are a small rock cluster of islands of the western coast of Scotland. What's that one saying? Shoot, what is it? What is it saying, Rocky? If you had a chance to change your fate, would ya? Oh, I'm sorry if I offended somebody. For centuries, these rocks were known for their isolation in treacherous waters. Sailors feared them. Shipwrecks were common. So, in 1895, the Northern Lighthouse Board approved the construction of a lighthouse on Elaine Moor. We'll just say it's that. I don't know if I said that correctly or not. Bear with me here. It wasn't an easy build. Supplies had to be hauled up in steep cliffs using a climbing winch. But by 1899, which that took 4 years to build, holy shit, the Flannon Isles Lighthouse stood tall and manned by 3 keepers. I did 3 this time. The 4th rotating in for relief shifts. All right, so Rocky, what we know about this, he's asleep. Do this so you can hear the knowledge, and it can go in that ear. Okay. Oh, pretty cool, honestly. It's, I mean, from looks at these photos, the lighthouse, that looks like a beginning of a horror movie, honestly. All these aerial shots of this lighthouse just look scary as shit. And I don't know, I guess it depends on the pay, to be honest. Because what does a lighthouse person do? They just go out there, they flip, lighthouse on, lighthouse off. Is that it? On December 15th, 1900, a steamer ship called the Architor, gosh, I am bad with names, was passing by in rough seas. The crew noted something strange. The lighthouse, which should have been a beacon of safety, was dark. Light wasn't on. 3 men couldn't do their goddamn jobs, and this ship almost wrecked. They reported the outrage when they reached the port, but due to severe storms in the area, it wasn't until December 26th, 11 days later, that the relief vessel was finally able to reach the island to investigate. Already, what kind of sucks about the whole setup they got here is that there's no quick way to get to them. Because, I mean, this was the 1900s. Right, Rocco? This was the 1900s, so you had to take a boat. It took a while to get out there, bro. You know? Yeah. When the crew arrived at the lighthouse, it was silent. No one came out to greet them. The flag wasn't flying. The landing dock was damaged. Something was off. When they finally got inside, it got weirder. Rocco, what do you think happened? Bro, I thought the same shit when I first heard this story. I know. The kitchen clock has stopped. Food sat untouched. A chair was toppled over. 2 sets of oil slicks, which is just heavy rain gear that they made for, so you don't get wet. It was pretty cool. 2 of them were missing, but the third remained. It suggested one of the men left without protective gear in a rush. But all these keepers, Thomas Marshall, James Ducat, and Donald MacArthur, he didn't like that name, were gone. No signs of a struggle, no distress signals, just gone. Which, at that point, after hearing all that, what do you guys think? Because, I mean, when you think of that, it's like, okay, the weirdest part about this is that the two rain jackets were taken, but one was left. Kind of sus. Later, someone found the Lighthouse logbook entries, and it was where things started getting even stranger. Written in Marshall's hand, they described intense storms hitting the island for days. December 12th, severe winds. Ducat very quiet. MacArthur crying. And the weird part about the MacArthur crying part is that they all knew him as he was a tough ex-soldier known for his temper, but no fear. What are you crying for, you big baby? December 13th entry. Storm is still raging. Sea is beyond anything I have ever seen. All 3 of us praying. So they're all praying. Storm's still raging on. But the kicker is there was no storms recorded in that area during that time. All nearby stations said the weather was clear. So unless this was a remote storm directly on them and nowhere else around, that's pretty unheard of, if I'm being completely honest. December 15th, storm ended. Seas calm. God is over all. That was the last entry. That is a fucking wild last entry if I've ever read one. Holy shit. Rocco, did you hear that? That's wild. Right there, it's kind of like, if I'm reading that, and also, could you imagine you're in this abandoned lighthouse, everything's weird as shit, you don't know where these 3 men are at, and you read the entry and you're in there and you read that? Ooh. I don't know. I would be freaked the fuck out, if I'm being honest. The official theory was that a 100-foot high wave struck while the men were securing a crane or storage box near the western landing. They were swept away, but with that, some things don't add up, honestly. Why did one man leave without his coat? Why was there no warning? Some suggest madness, one man turning on the others. Some say a group suicide. Others believe in something stranger. Supernatural forces, sea monsters, even time slips. And of course, as always, aliens. Which, I'm being honest, if there's a remote storm directly on you guys, aliens. From doing a lot of research on this stuff, the fun me wants to say aliens or a sea monster. A sea monster would be sick. Like a siren. They called him out to the edge and then grabbed him. Possibly mermaids. I could also believe in madness, if I'm being honest. Madness would be a good guess, if I'm being completely square. If I had to guess, 2 men went out to go secure a box on the western side because the western side was damaged. And while they were doing that, it was taking them some time. So the one man without the jacket went out there to check on him and got swept away. If I'm being honest, I think that's what happened. It sucks, but gosh darn it. That one was wild. Was it not, Rocco? And it put him to sleep. All right, up next on our big mystery mass disappearances, we have Malaysia Airlines MH370. Y'all heard about this one? On March 8th, 2014, Malaysia Airlines flight 370 took off from the gosh darn it, Kuala Lumpur International Airport, heading to Beijing. It was a routine red-eye flight carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The weather was calm, no storms, no turbulence. A peaceful night for flying. But somewhere over South China Seas, less than an hour into its journey, it vanished.
Any sign of that satellite?
No, sir. It's gone.
Holy shit, Rocco, what do you think happened? I think he's going to guess aliens again. Here's a timeline of this whole thing. At 12:41 a.m., MH370 lifted off. The Boeing 777 was cruising at 35,000 feet. At 1:01 a.m., it sent its last automated position via a cars. I don't know what that is, honestly. At 1:19 a.m., the co-pilot calmly said, "Good night, Malaysia, 370. That's eerie as fuck, if I'm being completely honest. Like, what? I would refuse that to ever be my last words. That's just, for being your last words to ever be heard, scary, honestly. Just 2 minutes later, MH370 disappeared from civilian radar. No crash, no distress signal, just gone. I don't know. This is why I hate flying. But military radar saw something else. The plane was turned back, crossing Malaysia, then veering south over the Indian Ocean, and it kept flying for 6 more hours. What? So it disappeared off of Malaysia, like the air control. The airport's radar disappeared, but military was able to find it, and they tracked it for 6 hours. It turned around and just kept flying for 6 goddamn hours. What is happening? At that point, it's kind of like, what were you guys doing up there? Because was there something they were following? Was there a hijacking to where somebody just wanted to fly until the plane ran out of fuel, or what? It's kind of weird. The search began in South China Seas, but soon shifted west. Seattle ping showed the plane followed what's now called the Seventh Arc, a path stretched deep into southern Indian Ocean. Australia led a mass search operation, but nothing was found. On July 2015, a piece of the wing washed up on the Reunion Island. It was MH370. Over time, more fragments were found along Africa's east coast, nearby islands, but the wreckage itself is still missing. What? That's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. Here's a wing. Here's some parts, but everyone's still gone. They're in the ocean, or they're in space, because aliens. The mystery deepens at this point. Is like, why did the plane turn around? Why were the systems shut off manually? And who was flying those final 6 hours? How could such a massive aircraft vanish without a trace? So pretty much, I would, if we're going in the realistic aspect, is I could definitely see a terrorist, like somebody hijacked the plane and they kind of didn't know where to go after that. They're like, I didn't expect to make it this far. And because they turned around, they shut it off manually, and then they turned around and drove for 6 hours, or flew. I could definitely see they were just like, fuck it, I just want to fly, bro. And the cost of the other 227 people on this plane, I want to fly. Was the pilot suicidal? Some believe Captain Zara planned this act. A similar route was found on his home simulator. The U.S. military accident. A conspiracy theory suggests a cover-up after a mistaken shoot-down. Remote. Oh my God. Could you imagine the military's like, shoot it down? And they're like, oh shit, that was an actual plane. Uh-oh. 2018, investigators ended the official search. The cause still unknown. Families still wait. The world still wonders. So what do you guys think happened to flight MH370? I want to be fun about it and say aliens. But if I'm going to be completely honest here, I think from what we've just read and what we've gotten from the evidence here, with the whole thing getting manually shut off so they can't track them, and the man did the same path at his home simulator, I don't know. It lines up too perfectly, to be honest. Which, I mean, could be throwing a wrench in it. You know, they could be wanting you to look at it that way. But I don't know. That's the most realistic thing I could see. Homeboy wanted to commit suicide, and that sucks for the other 227 people. So yeah, Rocky, what did you think about Malaysia flight? He is loving these mass disappearances. It's on to the final one, which could be the biggest one. Rocky, on our final mass disappearance, we have the lost colony of Rowan Oak, which I've never fucking heard of until today's video. Rocky, just based off of this, what do you think this story is going to be about? Well, no shit, it's going to be about a lost colony. Okay, so let's get into this one. It was meant to be England's first permanent settlement in New World, but instead it became one of America's oldest and greatest mysteries. A colony that simply vanished. In 1587, over 100 English settlers arrived in Roanoke Island off the coast of what is now known North Carolina. This group was led by John White. It was aimed to establish a permanent colony. Among the settlers, there were men, women, and children, including White's granddaughter, Virginia Dare. D-A-R-E. There. Supplies ran low, and tensions with local tribes escalated. John White sailed back to England for reinforcements, but he couldn't return for 3 more years. That's fucked, if I'm being honest. Hang on, guys. I'll be back. I swear, I'm going to go get some more guys, and we'll come back. We'll kick their ass. 2 years go by. Guys, I don't think he's coming back. Guys, I don't think he's coming back. Why did it take him so long? I mean, I get it. It was 1587, and I mean, transportation wasn't the fastest, but damn. Oh, if I would have just waited a little bit. The war with Spain delayed White's return until 1590. When he finally reached Roanoke, what he found was shocking. An entire settlement deserted. No signs of struggle, no bodies, no homes. Just a single word caved in a tree, Croatoan, and nearby letters C-R-O, carved into a post. The colonists were gone. I'm gonna go ahead and assume the tribe took them. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there, unless it was aliens. All 3 of these could have been aliens. I'm not gonna lie. Aliens have been around for quite some time, and it could have been them. But I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb. It was the tribes. So pretty much, John White came back. He came to the place like, "Hey guys, I'm home. Sorry it took so long. I got the milk." And everything was to shit. Clothes were everywhere. The whole village was ransacked, and we had these weird wordings on trees. So nothing I would like to see when I get home, if I'm being honest. Now, with all this disappearance and whatnot, these are some of the leading theories that I have found on the internet that could give us some answers. With limited resources and growing isolation, the colonies may have died of famine, illness, or exposure. That could be it. But I feel like if they died, their bodies would have still been there, or there would have been signs of burying. You know, not everyone's clothes scattered. So that one's out for me. Some believe the colony attempted to move further inland for survival. However, no confirmed settlement or graves have been discovered. So we are still on the whole theory. The tribe took them. Okay, we're still there. We're still there. And then you got these are my favorite theories right here. From curses to time travel to alien abductions, popular media has explored it all. These theories are simply fantasy and unsupported, but they've kept the legend alive in books, shows, and movies. We could say aliens came and took them all. I'm not going to lie. The aliens saw John White left, and they're like, now's our time. I don't fucking know. I doubt it. The tribe took them, honestly. It had to have. Till this day, the fate of the lost colony remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history. The word Croatoan, I think I'm saying that right, is the only known clue. Was it a final message, a destination, or a misdirection? No graves, no journals, no final recordings, just silence and centuries of speculation. So yeah, that's fucking scary if I'm being honest. But to be honest, it was, what was the year again? 1587. It was 1587 to 1590. So I'm going to go ahead with context clues. If I've learned anything here, they found this island. It was right next to another native tribe. And when the leader left, I could see he left for quite some time, and they were not expecting him to be gone for that long. I could see he left, and they were running really low in supplies, and they tried to trade, or they tried to work together with the tribes, and the tribes just straight up killed them. Straight up killed them. So that's going to be my assumption here. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, the lost colony of the Rowan Oak, it was eaten, probably. I'm not going to lie. Were they eaten? Probably. They were probably eaten, and it was very sad. So there you have it, Rocco. You are now informed with the most interesting mass disappearances on the internet. What did you think? What did you think? He's asleep. That's what he thinks about it. I do hope you guys enjoyed. I do think I'm going to do more of these style videos coming into the future because I had a lot of fun with this. We're still going to talk about drama and shit, what I've been doing on the channel. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if you'd like to see me tackle more of these style videos. Or would you like me to dive into some true crime? Whoa, I got a suit and tie I could wear. I'm a detective. Guys, look, I'm a detective. We could talk about some true crime. Woo! All right. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.